Today, we're going back in time.
Sending you back to 1985.
Today's onslaught of electric vehicles might feel like it's coming out of nowhere, but really, it's the culmination of years and years of research and development from a number of automakers. Go back a few decades and you start to find some really strange and captivating stories from the dawn of our modern electric revolution. Kevin Williams at thedrive.com recently stumbled upon one of the most incredible unknown projects from that era. Back in the early 1990s, Motorola, yes, that Motorola, built a fully functional 1987 Chevy Corvette EV prototype. And moreover, the car still exists today. A future museum piece currently sitting in a random salvage yard in Illinois, waiting to be discovered by the right buyer. Right now, you're probably as surprised as everyone. Motorola made cars? Wait, Motorola made electric cars? But after getting the tip and checking it out, Kevin couldn't deny what was before his eyes. A fully intact C4 Corvette with a battery electric drivetrain, official Motorola markings all over it, and stacks of internal Motorola paperwork on the project. It is, in fact, the real deal. In an era where EVs were mostly homemade kit cars cobbled out of cheap hatchbacks, Motorola built itself a proto-Tesla Roadster that, from what's been seen, matched the performance of its contemporary gas-powered sports cars. Even more surprising that there was basically no information about this car in existence. No rumors, no reports, no chronicles on hobbyist EV sites and forums from the mid-2000s. It's an amazing project that apparently lived and died at the tail end of the analog age, slipping out of sight just before the internet could hoover up its story and immortalize it for everyone. Pop the reverse opening clamshell hood and you're greeted with several silvery boxes with scary-looking high-voltage stickers on them. On top of the biggest box closest to the vehicle firewall sits a bright blue Motorola Automotive logo. The conversion definitely used as many stock C4 convertible pieces as possible, along with the proprietary electric powertrain. There's a lot more information. If you want to check it out for yourself, head on over to thedrive.com. They have many pictures of the documentation. They go over all of the details, and it's quite fascinating. In the meantime, just imagine a world where Motorola is synonymous with electric cars, where the research done with its EVs in the 1990s paved the way, and where this lowly prototype is fully restored and proudly parked at GM's headquarters as a pioneering example of early electrification. And what the heck, let's throw a Razor-branded car into this fantasy while we're at it. Construction workers might soon spend more time building and less time preparing. HP has unveiled a SitePrint robot that autonomously prints layouts on construction site floors. With the help of a remote control tablet and cloud tools, the machine can outline walls, doors, and other elements with little intervention. It can avoid unexpected obstacles, including steep drops. The company claims the bot can finish a layout in a fraction of the time humans require, although this will vary by the complexity of the project. The robot includes 2 batteries that can each handle up to 4 hours of printing. It can print on surfaces like concrete and plywood, even if they're rough. You can also choose inks that last days or months to suit the timeline for any given job. HP is making the SitePrint robot available to North American companies this month as part of an early access program. There's clearly a concern that SitePrint might automate people out of jobs. The robot only requires 1 operator versus 2 or 3 people typically needed for a manual layout. However, its timing might be particularly apt. Robots like SitePrint could help builders make the most of limited staff, or at least take on more ambitious tasks without hiring larger crews. Oh, I'm getting very excited about the world of VR again. When the original PlayStation VR launched in 2016, it already felt a bit dated, with its stationary setup and PlayStation Move controllers outclassed by the room-scale VR offerings of its PC competitors. PlayStation VR thankfully brings things up to parity. Room-scale VR is on offer here thanks to inside-out headset-based tracking, and the controllers feel on par with Meta's latest. PSVR 2 also brings some new features to the table. Its eye tracking is a first for a VR headset, as is its haptic feedback that's built into the headset itself. The controllers also leverage the same haptic feedback and adaptive triggers found in the PS5's excellent DualSense controller, which, if implemented well, will be all the more effective paired with the immersion of VR. It's also, however, still rooted, or should I say tethered, to the past. Like other PC-based VR headsets, the PSVR 2 still requires a wired connection to your PS5. It's a single thin cable that's relatively uninhibiting, especially compared to the multi-cable clutter of its predecessor, but it could feel limiting for people who have gotten used to the tethered-free experience of the MetaQuest 2. Last week, many reviewers went to PlayStation's USA headquarters for the first hands-on with the PSVR 2. Games that were played were Resident Evil Village, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, and Horizon Call of the Mountain. And everybody was floored. PlayStation VR 2 has a similar headset design to its predecessor, with a band that rests on the crown of your head and hugs the nape of your neck. That gives a nice weight distribution that doesn't feel front-heavy like some VR headsets can. On the back of the band is a button that slides it out when pressed, as well as a dial that lets you tighten the band further if necessary. There's also a button on the face mask that lets you slide it in or out, making the headset easy to put on and then adjust to a comfortable position. PSVR 2 uses 4 cameras built into the headset for inside-out tracking of the controllers in your surroundings. The games look incredible, and Sony is putting in a lot of money to make sure that we have a good lot of VR games to play when the PSVR 2 is released. The other key question is price. The original PSVR launched at $399. And considering the hardware on offer, I really wouldn't be surprised to see the PSVR 2 launch at $499 US and probably in the $600 to $700 range here in Australia, especially considering the inflation-related price increases that recently hit both the MetaQuest 2 and the PS5 itself in many territories. Still, for PS5 owners who want an easy, non-PC based way to access a high-end VR experience, PSVR 2 is very promising. We'll let you know more about the PSVR 2 as soon as we hear more right here on your weekly tech update.